It was when she met the boy. I was surprised how emotional it was. That is the part, though, that brought me to tears with Bridget Jones, or in Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy. So reviews had said that it's a tearjerker of a movie, and I think most Bridget Jones movies have probably made me cry. But I was surprised how emotional that scene was. And no, it went way beyond the cliche of toy boy, you know, people snigger, oh yeah, you know, older woman or whatever they're called, cougars or whatever. It actually went way beyond that. It was done so beautifully. It was just portrayed as a human connection that went beyond the cover, you know, went beyond the skin, went deeper than that, a lot deeper than that in that moment. For a couple of reasons, I think. Like, obviously for Bridget Jones in her life at that point, she's lonely, she's just in a mess. Every day she feels like a fuck up. Every day is like about trying to keep her shit together, and I cannot tell you how much I relate to that. Feeling frumpy when everyone else around her is all polished and perfect. You know, all of that, I've related to her the whole way through. And so she's really at that point in her life and really needing help. You know, her children are stuck up the tree. She's stuck up the tree. And then this fantastic, well, two men come to her aid, but then it's the young, handsome, virile Adonis, as she calls him in the movie, who gets her down really gently. But the way he does it too, he's so kind, he's so courteous, he's so polite. And I think the bit about that real connection is that he seems to really see her. And I think for a woman in her age bracket, that means a lot, I think. Because aging's a little bit like, if you think about two beautiful peaches, so here comes a real cliche. One skin's really firm and luscious and blah, blah, you get the idea. The other one's been in the sun too long, withered, dry. But inside that peach, they've both got a kernel, don't they? And that kernel is actually unchanged. And I think in that scene, because it's so touching, he saw Rockstar, that's the name of the character. Rockstar saw way past that skin, and he got right down to the inner Bridget there, who was standing there. And I think that's why it was so touching. It was just a really touching scene. And I think from his point of view, Bridget gave him something really important too, which is interesting. I think in that moment, he really understood that he was her hero. And I think that's a feeling that is, I have heard men saying that that they don't feel that women need them anymore, because obviously women are brought up, rightly so, appropriately so. Women can do anything, you know, girls can do anything. Women can be CEOs, women can run countries, obviously they can, you know, it's not about that. I'm not, you know, no one's arguing that. But I think from a man's point of view, they might be feeling a little bit obsolete. That, you know, do women need us anymore? And so I think in that moment, you know, his strong arms lifting her down and bringing her children down. Yes, she did need him in that moment. And because she's a really emotional character, it just exuded from her, you know, her gratitude. And so I think in that moment, his heart was also filled with just, you know, I really am this woman's hero right now. And I think that's a really important feeling for men. So it was a beautiful scene. It was very touching. I was surprised that was the scene that moved me to tears. But it's well worth going to see. I don't know what will bring other people to tears. It could be the reminiscing about Mark Darcy for the character Bridget, you know, her husband. They are done well, the scenes. And I actually had a great day, so you'll never believe who I went to the movies with. I went to see Mad About the Boy with my boy. I had Spencer on my lap the entire time, and it's the first movie I've seen since he was born, and you would not believe how perfect it was. Seriously, it was perfect. So it was a 10 o'clock showing at Event Cinemas, and we caught the tram, we went in, and I had no idea how it would go, but he sat on my lap and he was fascinated by the ads, you know, the big ads playing. And by the way, I hadn't been to the movies for a couple of years. The ads do go on forever. He loved them. Right as the movie was starting, you couldn't have planned it better. He wanted to breastfeed, and then he fell asleep. You know, so there I am at the very back of the theatre, almost an empty theatre. I'm breastfeeding him, all warm, watching the movie. He falls asleep in my lap, stays asleep for the whole movie. You couldn't beat it with a stick. It was a great movie. It was a great experience. I loved watching it with my awesome little buddy. And he was the perfect movie companion. He didn't talk once. So, and he was happy as Larry. That was the thing that was also beautiful. Both of us were really happy. I was actually really happy just cuddling him in my arms as I watched the movie. And I reckon he would have been so happy just to have Mummy cuddle him for the whole time. And he just slept like a, here comes a cliche, baby. But no, it's a fantastic movie. Go and see it. It is very emotional. That's the part that made me cry. And yes, I'm very glad I got to see it with my awesome boy.